Thank you. Yes, hi. So I work in North Korea a lot of the time. I live in Beijing, but I work in North Korea. And I'm sure there are very few people here who've actually been to North Korea, but we all know something about North Korea. We know about Pyongyang. What do we know about North Korea? Pyongyang is fake. The people in Pyongyang are actors. The people are fearful. The people are brainwashed. The people are robots. I work for a company called Choreo Tours, who since 1993 have been bringing people to North Korea. Why do we encourage travel to North Korea? To see if it's possible to learn something more than we already know. To see if it's possible to humanize some of the individuals here who make up that mass we call the people. Now, I work in communication for Choreo Tours. I communicate our company's policy of engagement through managing our social media channels. And all the photos you'll see here today were taken by me. I communicate my own personal vision with people when I share these photographs. And I'm very lucky in my work that I get to communicate a combination of our company's social policy of engagement and my own creative vision when I produce cultural engagement projects in North Korea. Take filmmakers to North Korea, produce projects like this one. This was a time-lapse project that we filmed in 2014. We took filmmakers in, we made a short film there. And we like to do these film projects because it means we can take many more people than we'd really want to go, actually, to North Korea by watching the films. We hope this film would be widely seen. We want as many people as possible to see what we see when we go there, but this was huge. This has so far had 4.5 million views on Vimeo.com and some other platforms as well. And it gained me this title. I was the producer of this project, and that's me. So today I'm going to talk to you about how you can maintain integrity of vision when you're swimming against the tide of public opinion, when you're working in a very limited global media narrative, and also when we are working in a time of unprecedented unpleasantness in online discourse. You can ask me tons of questions in the breaks about North Korea. Today's going to be a little bit more about my work, okay? But first, I think I should take you to North Korea. So let's watch the video. Oh, not this video, sorry. You watch that video later. Here we go. So, thank you. So that was Pyongyang. Oh, and we spent 5 days in 2014 shooting that film. I arranged the shoot on the ground. I was there. And this is our team. On the right here is Rob in the pink shirt. He is the cinematographer. He took the photographs. He also edited the film with the guy next to him, JT, his producer. So we helped arrange their access. They made the film themselves. We, advised them, but generally they did what they wanted. I should mention now that the whole film was made in China with no interference or input at all from the North Korean side. They didn't see it until we brought it back to show them. I'm on the end there, serving polka dot realness in Pyongyang, bringing life to the people. And in the middle, our team members, the North Koreans who were with us the whole time. Guy in the middle there, our driver, taking us from A to B. The gentleman is Mr. Lim, and the lady is Miss Lee. Whenever you go to North Korea as a foreigner, whether you're an artist, a tourist, whatever, you are accompanied by 2 representatives of whichever agency invited you. It's like China in the 80s, Soviet Union. They're always with you. They were not our minders. They were not skulking behind us taking notes. They were explaining in detail to every single person in every single place we went to why there were 3 foreigners with 1 huge camera standing in the middle of the road taking photographs for an hour. Time-lapse photography, which you'll learn a little bit more about later, is not the same as just filming. It takes a really long time and it's quite complicated. And this is a country where they don't watch all these things on YouTube all the time. So these guys really helped us with the access and they helped us make it. And we're very proud of this film, I should say. This was very difficult to do. We got new permissions that had never been done before. Maybe the next person who decides to make this sort of film in Pyongyang or another sort of film will find it a bit easier because we opened the door slightly, very slightly, okay? And I've been to North Korea maybe about 20 times, and this is a fairly accurate representation of what this city is like. It's a very unique city. It's not representative of the rest of North Korea, but this is what it's like. Well, one viewer on Vimeo.com did not agree. But at least he liked it, right? So since my first trip in 2008 up until my most recent trip 2 months ago, I've always taken photographs when I'm in Pyongyang. And I share them with my friends online. I share them with anyone who follows me on Instagram. Now, up until about a year ago, because I'm not Kim Kardashian, I'm more here than here, I don't have that many followers for that reason. But about the same time I was making the film, I became a suggested user of Instagram, which meant I got a few thousand new friends, and that made me a little uncomfortable because those people were following me to see these pictures, not these pictures. He's gorgeous, that's George. So I moved a lot of my personal photographs onto a different account, which is public, but only has 300 followers, which is a little bit more comfortable for me. And I kept this one North Korea focused, which makes a lot of sense. You move your private life out of the public sphere of your work. But this was the first time where I was curating something for the perceived desires of an audience and not for myself. And it wasn't the last time that I did that either. So this is me photographing on the Pyongyang metro. These pictures always get a lot of reaction. People love to see pictures of people. And it's a great way for us to start the discussion about North Korea. You know, the most common question is, well, there's a subway in North Korea? And that's after you can go to North Korea and you can take pictures in North Korea. The answers, by the way, are yes, yes, and yes. Yes, even Americans can go to North Korea, I should say. So I'm always liking looking at these photographs, deciding which ones to share. A few months ago, I came across this one on my phone. I really like this picture because it combines 2 of my favorite things, the mundane and the absurd. This body language is quite familiar. If you're sitting on the subway on your commute and someone sits opposite you, looking like me, taking a photograph of you, that's what you're going to look like. And at the same time, there's also this hat. Now, this is an amazing hat anywhere in the world. I wanted to share this photograph and say, look at these very normal women, very human women, and look at this crazy hat. But then I looked through my photographs and I saw this picture. Now, this picture is striking. It's got better composition, it's got a focus, and the tilt of her head totally changes her face. She looks very beautiful in this picture. But this picture, to me, is the ultimate North Korea cliché photograph of a woman. She's looking off screen. We can't reach her. She's wistful. All we can do is project our preconceived notions onto her blank, submissive, beautiful face. People like these sorts of pictures, and they know these sorts of pictures. Now, I'm competitive anyway, a little bit, but social media really works that side of us. You can see exactly your reach. It has you vying for likes. I like likes. I think we all like likes. I posted this picture. Now, it got a lot of positive feedback, a lot of very complimentary comments, but then this one. Now, I don't necessarily think she looks that sad. But what I do think is that I delivered up a rare glimpse of a disenfranchised North Korean woman. And we have such strong preconceived ideas about these people that she looks sad. It doesn't matter if she's frowning, it doesn't matter if she's crying, she looks sad. Whenever I post portraits, I always get 1 or 2 comments saying, oh, she looks so inscrutable, or, you know, you can see the fear in her eyes. You can't see fear in their eyes. You can imagine the fear is there, but you can't see the fear in their eyes. And that always happens. There's nothing I can do about it. We have a very strong conception of what this country is. But this picture bothered me because I knew this before I posted it. I knew I was feeding in and perpetuating this idea of North Korean women as ethereal, supernatural, sad, beautiful creatures, only capable of victimhood, totally dehumanized. Now, this happens to women whenever they are represented in film and photography everywhere in the world. They're dehumanized. They're mother, they're virgin, they're bitch, they're whore. But these women, the women that I've been taking photographs of, they have no personal agency. I do, I have that. I can do that on their behalf. And I know these women, I've met these women. And you know, when I took all the private pictures out of my Instagram account, it was to cultivate a captive audience. Yes, I can tell them that you can go to North Korea, but I can also share with them the dynamism of these women. What I did instead was I gave up that vision for a pretty picture and 150 likes. Now, it's important to know how you feel inside about your work. Because if you don't acknowledge that you might have veered off the path, then you're not getting back on that path. But it's also important to know how you feel about your work, because if you're even a little bit successful, you're going to have to defend that work at some point. So earlier this year, the BBC invited me to do an interview on the radio on the World Service, and it went out on the radio, but then they also made a video with some of the photographs, and we're going to show you a little bit of that video, hopefully right now. We have a really wonderful, warm welcome whenever we do travel to North Korea and bring our guests. It's the first thing that people notice. So that, for me, is a very important point. When we facilitate travel to North Korea, we want to sort of change your perceptions, or at least show you what is actually like compared to what you think it might be like. And that's the first thing that people are always surprised by. They get a warm welcome. Now, that audience you want for your work and those people you want to speak to, on the internet, they speak back. So these are some of the comments that I received underneath that video. And for people with children, I'm sorry, I know that some of this is harsh. If you'd like to protect your children from reading these sorts of words, then never let them on the internet. Because it's there. Okay. Oh, yeah. So you can also timestamp images on YouTube, and you can say, you know, at this point this happens, and you click through and you see it. This image was connected to a comment that said 0 minutes 47 seconds to kill a boner. So I apologize to the men in the audience if you have a similar situation going on here. Yeah. This was a comment left on our company's Facebook page. So whenever we interact on social media online, these are the sorts of words we're getting. But I actually went a little bit further into the belly of the beast when I did an AMA on Reddit. AMA stands for Ask Me Anything. So you go on, you say, this is who I am, ask me anything. And people did, they asked me a lot of questions. Now, Reddit is quite interesting because on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter, you deliver up your carefully formulated ideas and they attack you. But on Reddit, they attack you and then they circle around and attack each other and you're sort of floating above it. So someone asked what the people in Pyongyang thought. I told them. They were blown away. They were proud. So someone said, of course they were proud. You're spreading this idea that this is a normal city when we know it's fake. Nein, danke. It is not vile. It is truth, okay? And then Mini Bear Death Mill, it may be vile. So they're discussing it themselves. And then my personal favorite, hope you or someone you care about gets hit by a car and dies. So it's nice. This is the sort of thing that's happening out there. While this is happening, there is some actual discourse. So I'm telling them here that this is the real city, this is how we made it. Someone said, my family escaped North Korea during the war. I've shared your video with them. You know, it's all really wonderful. There were some mixed reviews. I like that one. And then some of the usual. Can't you see the fear in their eyes? If you want to speak to an audience, you have to learn how to traverse the online landscape, okay? You have to train your eye so that it rests on positive, constructive criticism, doesn't linger on hate. But the point of this is not to retreat from the online space, because in the online space, that's where you cultivate conversations and you make connections. Now, earlier, I showed you this one on Facebook, You Have No Souls. This guy was on our Facebook page, and he was giving us accusations and assumptions, and we were giving him measured, factual responses. I live in Beijing. I work in North Korea. This is one of the most unexpected things I've ever seen in my life. His final comment to us: thank you for your considered response. I apologize for my misrepresentation. I do appreciate your attention. We didn't change his mind, but we did change his tone. And if you know what you want to say and you know how you want to say it, then you can keep control of the conversation. But more importantly than that, you can stand firm and not allow yourself to be swept away by hate, by abuse, and by bad grammar, and by terrible spelling. This was another question in the AMA, because most of it was about North Korea, but of course some of it was also about filmmaking, because we showed a film. So this guy was wondering, what would you advise an amateur filmmaker? And what I say to him here, I also say to you now. Go out and do it. Make lots of films, or business deals, or whatever, operas. Lots of mistakes, tell lots of stories. Travel as much as possible. Meet new people. Have conversations with everyone. Don't be scared, and don't take online criticism personally. Now, I'm still working in North Korea, and I'm still trying to make new projects happen. I'm still taking pictures. Is everything in Pyongyang fake? I don't know. I think it's actually a little bit more complex than that. But in documenting that line between what's fake and what's authentic, I'm just trying to stay true to me. Thank you.
Thank you.